Who wants to be last? Oh, someone, oh, yeah, I'm not even looking up there. Sorry about that.
Hi, I'm a student here at Franciscan, and I'm also running a photographer on the weekends. And I'm planning to do that after graduating. Do you have any practical tips for those of us in the wedding industry who are Catholics and coming face to face with being religious?
Yeah. Yeah, so one is that, I would advise you to get in touch with either the Liberty Institute, which is a public interest law firm in Texas, or the Alliance Defending Freedom, which is a public interest law firm based in Arizona and Washington, D.C., both of which, and actually you can find these on their websites, have come up with kind of like what they call an audit, for you to audit yourself in terms of like, what is the best kind of legal structure to be as a sole proprietor or a corporation, and what to have in your mission statement, all these things, so that if one day you were to be sued, you would be in the best possible legal footing to defend yourself, right? And many of these groups would discuss this with you for free. That they're pro bono public interest law groups trying to help someone in that situation. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm hunting on that and encouraging you to talk to them. The next thing I would say is it's vitally important what sort of laws the jurisdiction in which you operate is governed by. So where we've had these bad stories, they've added the phrase sexual orientation and gender identity to their non-discrimination statute. So almost every state has a non-discrimination statute that protects against race. So race is a protected class. So you couldn't be a photographer that says, oh, I don't take pictures of black people. Right? And that's an appropriate law. I think for good philosophical and historical reasons, after our experience of enslaving people based on race and then segregating people based on race, there was a justification for that sort of law. The South wouldn't have been integrated if not for the Civil Rights Act. It's a problem if you equate sexual orientation and gender identity with race. These are radically different concepts, and you govern them by the same sorts of legal structures. That's where someone like yourself comes into trouble. So you're going to see these debates at the national level. There's something known as the Equality Act, which would add sexual orientation and gender identity to the Civil Rights Act. And so everywhere where we have a federal law that protects against racism would protect on the basis of orientation and gender identity. Those are the laws that would shut down the adoption agencies, that would challenge the status of a school like Franciscan, and that would bring a professional like yourself into trouble. On the flip side, you have something known as the First Amendment Defense Act, also a pending federal legislation that says the federal government could never penalize someone because they believe and act on the belief that marriage is the union of a man and a woman. Right? So if your reason for the types of weddings that you do as a photographer is because you believe marriage is the union of a man and a woman, the federal government couldn't penalize you for that. And if the state of Ohio has something like that, neither could the state of Ohio. The city of Steubenville had neither. You can think about this. So one thing is to say that part of active citizenship, part of faithful citizenship, is to say that it matters what sort of laws you're governed by. Care about that. The last thing I'll mention is that there's the court of law. There's also the court of public opinion. And how you interact with someone who asks you for something that you can't do will frequently determine how that plays out in the court of public opinion, media coverage, and how it might play out in a court of law, whether or not that person chooses to sue you. And so here, I think what's going to be important is that you not behave like the Westboro Baptist Church. It's simple advice, but it's important. So here's what's going to be important is, I think it's a tragedy that Baronelle Stutzman has been sued, given the fact that, she has a well-documented record of not being a bigot, not being a homophobe. She's employed gay people, and she had no problem selling flowers to this gay couple for a decade. She calls them still to this day her friends. She said, we were friends for 10 years, and I'm not even going to allow this lawsuit to cancel out our friendship. So it's all going to be, how do you encounter the other person and explain, if you can't do the wedding ceremony, why it is that you can't do the ceremony. And especially as a photographer, I actually think the photographer has one of the strongest explanations. You're going to be intimately involved in the ceremony itself, right? You're going to capture walking down the aisle, the first kiss, the reception. You're going to be kind of there for the ceremony to capture every significant moment. And then you're going to go back to your studio, and you're either going to make a slideshow or a photo album, and you're going to try to tell the story of that ceremony and their love and their story. And you can even tell them, who do you want to be documenting this for you? Someone who shares in your joy and your happiness in your moment, or someone who's doing it under duress so that they don't go to jail? Right? I mean, so who do you want baking your wedding cake? I just had never understood why you would want someone who doesn't celebrate your wedding to be baking your wedding. They're gonna put in too much salt and it just doesn't strike me as like, why? But again, you could say, in the same way, if you can help them see that, don't you think if the artist's heart is in it, they're gonna produce a better outcome for you? So you're selfish, and then say, and now imagine the flip side. How do you think I'm gonna feel having to do this when you know it goes against my deepest convictions of the nature of marriage? How you express that to them, and especially if it's a long-term customer, you're gonna have a better. But if someone just walks in out of the blue, it's really just gonna be on your ability to explain that in a Christ-like way, right? Not in a Westboro Baptist way. So I hope that helps.